it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today I am so excited to finally be sharing with you my youngest son's big boy room tour, his whole makeover. It turned out so great, better than I even imagined that it would, and I am so excited to finally share it with you. It's been a long work in progress, from all the designing, painting, getting all the things, getting it all put together, because in these times, as you know, it's kind of hard to go into the stores and you want to stay out of the stores as much as possible. So a lot of the stuff has been shopping online, not really knowing exactly how it will look when you get it, along with going into the stores to get a few things. But it's a whole big process. I'm going to share the whole process with you in case you're wanting to do something similar or give you some ideas. So you already saw some little shots from the beginning of the video, and then you can see it behind me, but I'm going to go ahead and start from the beginning processes. I'm going to show you the before. I'm going to show you every process and every kind of little thing that I did to get to where it is now, the completed project. I might change a few things on the shelves, or, you know, as I go and kind of see how I feel about things. But we're going to go ahead and get started. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, I'd love for you to stick around. I do a lot of things, cleaning, organizing, home decor kind of things, motherhood, lifestyle, all the things, right? For being a mom and a homemaker. So if you're not subscribed already, I would love to have you. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like the way that his room turned out. And I hope that you guys enjoy. So I'm just starting out here showing you the before of Colton's room. It was pretty basic. We didn't really do too much decorating when we moved in. I never put any of the decorations on the wall, and everything was just kind of tossed in here. His changing table had the changing pad and everything on it, and so right now I'm showing you that I got a lot of the furniture out of there. We ended up just selling a lot on Facebook Marketplace, and so I'm just clearing it all out and getting it ready for the paint process. When I was trying to decide what I wanted to do for his room, I was looking on Pinterest a lot and just coming up with ideas in my head and trying to find somewhat of a theme, but trying to make it look nice and boyish, but not like too little kiddish. I wanted it to grow with them, finding furniture, paint colors, everything like that. One of the things that I was really excited to get for his room was his bedding, and we ended up going with the Betty's bedding, the one that zips up. And I'm so thrilled that I went in that direction. And you saw the clips in the beginning of the video. You can see the print that I went with, but we have been loving this bedding, and I cannot wait to show it to you more in detail later on in the video and give you more information about it, because we have been loving it so much. I was just taking down the blinds in here, and a really long time ago, the kids ended up messing up the blinds where one of the strings had pulled out, and then you couldn't pull them up and down, and it was all messed up. So it took me like a good 45 minutes to fix the blinds, but they're all fixed. They're as good as new. And so I was just taking everything off the walls, filling in with the little quick nail filler that you can paint pretty much right after, and taking everything down, face plates, all that good stuff, getting it ready to paint. When I paint a room, I basically just use the painter's tape to cover up the outlets and switches and everything. I do not go and tape along the baseboards and the ceiling and the doors. That just is too time consuming to me. So I just eyeball it, and I always have like a wet old washcloth that I use. If paint gets on anything, then I just wipe it off. But for me, that's just what works the best, and it doesn't take as much time for me. But if taping works for you, then by all means tape it off, but I only tape the outlets and the light switches and everything. Here I am starting out with using a primer. The paint that they painted our house with when we built the house was a flat paint, and it was just a few coats right on the drywall. So I'm going to use that same type of paint when I paint the room as well. So I just wanted to go ahead and use a primer. So I just cut in on the ceiling, around the doors and everything, and then I am going to roll the whole thing. So there's just something about painting with me. I've always enjoyed painting once I start to do it. I don't love the cleanup, but I do kind of get into my zone when I paint, and I'm the one that does the painting in our house. My husband is just not that great at it, and I would just rather do it myself. So I am the painter in the family, but I just put my headphones in or turn music up or listen to a podcast or whatever, and it's just kind of relaxing and therapeutic to me. Let me know down below if you're the same way or if you just absolutely cannot stand painting. As you can see, the whole room has been primed, and I am starting with my first coat of the color for all of the walls except for the main accent wall that you'll see here in a little bit. I decided to do a really dark board and batten accent wall, and so I went ahead and primed that, and then I'll paint that later on. But I was trying to decide what color I wanted to do for the rest of the walls, and I ended up just going with the color that's in the rest of the house because I already had some left over. I ended up having to go get another gallon, but I just ended up going with what was in the rest of the house, and I love it. It's one of my favorite paint colors, and I think it turned out great with his whole room and the look and everything. But what I'm putting on now is Sherwin-Williams Repose Gray, and the rest of our house is that color too. A lot of people have asked about that, but what I'm using is Sherwin-Williams Repose Gray. Now I tried to show a little bit of each step that I did for redoing his room, as far as painting, prepping, decorating, all of that, but there were some steps that I didn't show because either I was just pressed on time to do it in a short amount of time that I had available, or my memory card was full, or my battery was low on the camera, and I wasn't gonna wait. So there are some things that might have been left out, but you'll see bits and pieces of it, and I'll also explain a little bit what I did if it wasn't shown. But I just tried to cover maybe doing one wall of each, and I ended up doing 2 coats of the Repose Gray in the room. After this, I also went ahead and painted the accent wall in the back. I went ahead and got a coat of that on, and then I also went ahead and painted the boards right here. I used primed 1x3s. We got them from Home Depot. I went ahead and painted all of them before I put them on the wall, just because I thought it would be a lot easier instead of cutting in every single board and batten slat and painting it, you know, to get a clean look. So here they are, all painted and ready to go up on the wall. And you can't really tell the color here that well. It looks a little odd here in the garage, but I have 1 coat. Actually, I think I might have done 2 coats. I think I did 2 coats on these board and batten 1x3s, and then you'll see here in a second that I start to cut them and put them on the wall. Now I went ahead and put up the 1x3s on the top and the bottom of the wall, and then I was doing the edges, and then I start filling it in the middle. I wanted to do the top and the bottom just because I feel like it just makes it look cleaner, and then I did not want to paint my baseboard. I wanted to leave my baseboard white, so I put a 1x3 just on top of our baseboards, and we have just plain 1x6 baseboards anyway, so it's a flat surface. It fit nicely. And then I am just putting the outside pieces up, and those were going into studs. So to put these up, I just used the pneumatic nail gun hooked up to the air compressor and just popped those into place. And then I marked all of my studs. My studs are on the blue pieces at the bottom. And I was hoping that all of these board and batten boards would fit up nicely and align with the studs so I can tack them to the studs. But for the spacing that I wanted, it was just not going to work out. So I ended up putting them 16 inches apart, and that's from center to center. And I think that that turned out perfectly. So I went ahead, I got all of my boards cut, and then I started tacking them up there. So what you'll see is I measure one at a time as I go, because if you know walls in houses, nothing is ever going to be perfect. Nothing's ever going to be the exact same dimensions. So I measured one at a time and then went down and cut. And I just showed you, it was a real quick little clip, but for the ones in the middle, since they weren't going to be attached to a stud, I just used the construction grade liquid nails. I just put a swirly line on the back of the boards, and then I tacked them up with the nail gun, and that makes sure that they're adhered really good to the wall, and it worked perfect. And of course, my husband, you'll see him pop in and out of me doing things, but I basically did all of this on my own, from painting, cutting the boards, putting this all up. I did it all myself. The only thing he helped me with, you'll see later, is putting up the bookshelves. But of course, he has to come and see how it's going and see how I'm doing. This board and batten wall is fairly inexpensive and pretty easy to do, and it gives such a big effect. I'm so glad that I ended up doing this wall, because I was almost like, oh, I don't want to do it. I don't know if I want the extra work, but it really wasn't that much extra work. Painting took more time than this did. So I'm so glad that I did this. I thought it turned out so good. But one thing that you want to make sure that you do if you do a wall like this is to make sure that each board is level when you put them up there, because you can't just go by, you know, the boards on top and bottom or the one next to it. You just have to make sure that it's level to make sure that it's going to turn out looking good in the end. Now I have my boards attached. I went ahead and caulked and filled in the nail holes from attaching the boards. And this is probably my least favorite task of this whole makeover, is just the caulking, because it's just time consuming and then you have to get it perfect. But I finally got all of that done, and while I let that dry, I am going to go ahead and take apart the crib, because obviously he's not sleeping in here anymore, just because the smell of the paint and caulk, and I'm just working in here a lot. So he's been sleeping in his brother's room with him. But I am just going to take this apart and then get started on some more things in the room. I took this time to go ahead and give his window a really good cleaning while the blinds were off and nothing was in the way. It really needed it on the outside too. His bedroom is on the second story, and so it's just not cleaned on a regular basis or anything, but I'm just using vinegar and water. I always use that to clean all of my windows and mirrors and everything in the house. So I'm going to clean the inside of his window, and then you'll see that I take the screen out and even go onto the roof and wipe down the outside of his window. And I will tell you, that made such a huge difference, because you don't really realize how dirty they are until they're clean. And then you're like, oh, that was pretty dirty. But I was happy to actually have that done. So now that that was clean, I went ahead and put the blinds back up. And like I told you at the beginning, I was excited that I finally took the time to fix the blinds. And so now they are working and functioning the way that they should. I'm also finished painting the gray part of the room. So I'm just putting the finishings back on, just putting the face plates back on, and getting all of that out of the way. So that is completed. So while I was giving the caulk more time to dry before I could put another coat of paint on my accent wall, I decided to go ahead and put his nightstand together. We got him all new furniture. We got a full-size bed, and we got a nightstand and a dresser. So I'm going to go ahead and get this put together. Now, I didn't show the whole process of putting this piece together or all of the other furniture because that would just be way too boring to watch and time consuming watching to put all of the pieces together, but I ended up doing them all myself, so it was pretty easy and manageable. The only thing that my husband helped with was some of these screws on the actual platform bed because there wasn't a pre-drilled hole or anything, and it was just hard for me to do. But this furniture is by the brand South Shore, and it's the Munich brand, the Munich line, M-U-N-I-C-H, I think is what it is, the Munich by South Shore. And I just looked around for a really long time, like the color and style of the furniture that I wanted for his room. Ended up seeing this and just started falling in love with it. And I think that it turned out really good for his room and the style and look and everything that we went for. But I will leave all of the furniture links down below if you are interested in checking it out. So on this day, I needed to go ahead and get his bedding washed. Like I told you before, earlier in the video, we got the Betty's bedding for him. And it comes in this nice packaging here, and it's all put together. And I just wanted to go ahead and give it a wash, of course, just like you would do with any bedding before you use it. So I went ahead and took the top blanket piece off and then kind of had them separate while they washed. So that's what I'm doing here. I wanted to go ahead and get it washed because tonight is going to be his first night sleeping in his big boy bed. So it's got to be all ready to go. So I'm just putting all of this in my washing machine and it all fits together. And I was just checking it out because I was just so excited to be finally opening it up and getting it ready for him. So getting it all in the washing machine, and I just used a detergent and just a normal wash and got it dried and ready to go for him. So here it is finally all coming together. I got the final coats of the paint on the back accent wall. We got the rest of the furniture put together. We got the mattress moved in here, and he is actually using my daughter's old mattress, and we got her a new mattress. Just kind of did a little mattress shuffle. So we have the mattress in there, the dressers over there put together, and it's definitely starting to come along. And look, I'm getting excited about how it's coming together. And I'm not sure if I mentioned it yet, but the paint for the accent wall is Sherwin-Williams Mount Etna, E-T-N-A. Mount Etna. I spent way too long trying to figure out what color I wanted on that back wall, but I ended up just letting my almost 4-year-old pick. It's his room. I'd looked at paint colors so much, they were all running together. I let him pick, and I went with it. And he made a great choice because I absolutely love the way that it looks in here. So I have been so anxious and excited to finally be putting the bedding on his bed. So I went ahead and put his mattress pad on, and now I'm starting to put the Betty's bedding on, and it is just all one piece, and but the comforter does unzip, but once it zips on, then it's just all connected together. It's 2 zippers on each side, and that's what sets this bedding apart from any other bedding, is that you don't have the flat sheet that the kids always kick off and don't even like to use anyways. That's just shoved to the bottom of the bed and hanging off the bed, and they don't like to make their bed. Trust me, I deal with this with my older 2 kids. So that's one reason I was really excited to get this bedding for Colton. And so I got the bottom part on, attached the top part with the zippers, and it just looks so nice and clean. And I am just loving the way that this is looking. I went ahead and got Colton some new pillows because he didn't have pillows for his room. He just had one little pillow on his toddler bed. So I got him some new pillows from Target. So I'm putting the pillowcases on 2 of them, and then I'm going to put the shams on another 2, and it's just starting to come together, and I absolutely love it. But I was so pleased with the way that this bedding even felt. I don't know, the quality of fabric was just awesome, and I didn't know this, but from researching more, they hand make each of these bedding sets, and it takes them like 8 hours to make each of them. And so that's pretty impressive, and you can definitely tell because the quality is like on point. We all love this bedding so much that my 2 older kids want some for their room too. So I'm sure I'm going to be getting some for them in the future as well. And I wouldn't even mind having some for us in the camper, because that would be so much easier to make our camper bed with having this versus just the traditional bedding. So that might be in the future as well. I don't know. We'll see. But if you want to try out beddings for yourself, then I have a coupon code for you down below. It's for 15% off your first purchase. So definitely check it out, give them a look, and I promise you will be hooked once you try these out, just like we have been. So at this point, Colton had not seen his room yet, with all of the furniture put in there and things just coming together more, much less with his bedding on that he's been so excited about as well. So I took a little clip of him seeing it all for the first time with all of this put together so far, and he was so cute and so excited, and he loved it all. So I'm going to insert that clip right here so you can see how excited he was about his room so far and his bedding and everything.
Oh, don't get on it. You're dirty, buddy. You're dirty. What do you think about it?
It's cool.
It's cool? Yeah? You so happy? Huh? Colt, are you happy? Yeah? You got a big boy bed? Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. You so excited to sleep in there tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you talking like that?
Easton.
You like the way your comforter looks? Your bedding? What about your pillows?
Cool. You like
Cool.
the octopus? I love
Why
it.
is he talking like that?
I don't know.
Because he's really happy.
You love
because he
it
knows-
so much.
And because he knows it's on camera.
You
Go-
love it.
Go take a bath so you can go to bed. It's bedtime. You can sleep from 5 o'clock until 7:30 in the morning.
Colton, you want to see it zip?
Yeah?
Right here.
It's a zippy.
Over here.
Oh.
See right here.
Yeah.
Unzip it.
Unzip it. Pull it down.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Colt,
Yes, that's so
you don't have to unzip it all the way. Okay? Now it's on that corner. Okay. See? And then, look, Colt, when you go to bed, you can just pull that back and get in.
I want to see how comfy it is.
Okay, zipper on both sides.
Holy moly! coffee.
Yeah.
I want to go take a bath.
Do you want to go take a bath?
Yeah, and put my clothes on.
Colton, can you zip it back up?
Yeah.
Zip it back up like you're going to make your bed in the morning.
And he made his bed.
Yay! Good job. All right, that's your new bed. Now I'm just using a little black nail. I'm going to hang this fish poster with a little wooden poster hanger above his bed. This is one thing that I was absolutely so excited about for his room because he loves fishing and he loves fish, and it makes it more him. So I just showed you real quick the curtain rod that I was using. It came from Walmart. It's just a basic black curtain rod. I did have a more of a silver one up here, a satin nickel one, but I just wanted a black one, so I went ahead and picked that up, and then I'm putting the curtains on. And I got the curtains from Walmart as well. They're room darkening curtains, and I just went with a gray kind of woven color that was just gonna kind of match and complement the room well, and I thought that it actually turned out really good in there. So next I am setting up his lamp. I searched around online for a lamp quite a bit, but I ended up seeing this one at Target, and it was just the best for the price, and I just loved the gold brass accents on it, and it goes with some other things that I end up putting in his room. But this lamp came from Target, and I loved the way that it looked on his nightstand. Next, I am moving on to staining the shelves for his room. I am using a Varathane premium wood stain. It is an aged barrel. I tried to match it as close to his furniture that I could, and so I ended up going with this one, and I think that it turned out to be a great match. I love the way that it looks in there. I was a little iffy about it at first, but it ended up turning out really good. So this was just a quick coat one. I didn't really need a lot on here, and so I put it all on with just a little foam type of brush, and then let it sit, and then wiped it off. And I think I did 2 coats. I might have just done 1. I think I might have done 2. I don't remember. We'll see, because it's been a little bit since I'm editing the video, but I did that, let it dry, and then the next day I did 2 or 3 coats of the polyurethane to go ahead and finish it off. So yes, it ended up just being 1 coat that I let kind of set on each of it for quite a few minutes. So that ended up being enough. So it was just 1 coat of this for his shelving.
You dry. Do you know I'm looking, and I can't help but smile? Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on, I put my feet up, and we just sing along, and I can't help but feeling, just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm
So here we are putting the shelving up in here, and this was kind of like a little bit more time consuming. It didn't take forever, but it was just trying to figure out, we wanted to mount them on studs as best as we could, and so that's kind of where I decided where I would put them is where most of the brackets could be on studs. So we are starting out from there using the stud finder and getting them level and putting the screws in, and when we didn't have a stud, we used the anchors and put them up that way. But I got these black shelf brackets off of Amazon, and I will have those linked down below as well. But I thought that they were really good for the price and were great. They were great quality. The screws were good. I mean, everything was fine with them. So I'd highly recommend these shelf brackets.
Can we stay here together? I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause I'm just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? Forever. Forever.
If anyone is curious on the size wood that I used 1x8 boards that we got from Home Depot, and the middle shelf is 6 feet long and the top and bottom shelves are 3 feet.
Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause I'm just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? Forever.
So here we are on a lot of the fun part, which is finally putting things up on the walls and putting all the decorations out that I've been getting a bit here and there and ordering online. So I am putting this canvas type of world map up that I ordered. I think I got this from Amazon, but I saw them at multiple different places. But I liked the color of this and just how it showed like the sea, like the ship routes and everything. I don't know. I just thought that this looked so good with the color and like the theme that we were kind of doing in his room. So I'm putting these up, and I'm not gonna lie, these were a little challenging to put up to make sure that they were all level and straight and everything. So I was doing that. I got that up above his dresser. Then I was hanging this sign over here on this wall. This came from Hobby Lobby. I just thought it was so cute and just so fitting for Mr. Colton. And then I got these propellers here that I'm hanging up under the shelf over here. These came from Hobby Lobby. I just loved the boat propeller idea and just kind of like the brass and silver, just kind of vintage look to them. So I just put a couple up over here, and I thought that ended up looking good. And for this big galvanized seat up here, that came from Hobby Lobby as well. And it's not flat to like sit flat on a shelf or anything. It has hooks to hang, but I wanted it kind of angled. So I just put a long nail in the wall and attached it to one of the little hanging things on the back. And it was sturdy and secure that way. So that worked out good. So here on the bed, I have some new things that I got for his room and some older things that we've had for a little bit of time that he had in his nursery that I'm going to try to put on his shelves and in his room. So you'll see me putting stuff up here, moving it around, playing around, and that's how I do with decorating. I move things around a lot, and even after I did this, I ended up moving things around again. But you'll see the final reveal at the end of the video, which isn't too far away. But most of these things came from Hobby Lobby. Some of them I had. That little bicycle up there, I thought it was so cute because he loves to ride his bike, and he's been riding without training wheels for quite some time now, and he loves it. But I got that little bike from TJ Maxx. And that glass jar that has the sand and the rolled up paper at the bottom, I just wanted to kind of tell you what that was. At his gender reveal party, I knew that I was going to do some kind of beachy theme in the nursery because we were making it a part of our guest room, and that was already the theme in there. So at his gender reveal party, we had all of our guests write a note to him after we revealed the gender. And so that's what all those rolled pieces of paper are notes to him before he was even born. So that is just super sweet, and I wanted to incorporate that. So here is his completed room. We absolutely love the way that it turned out. I'm very pleased with it, and he loves his new room so much. For the theme that we went with his room, it's not like any really set theme. It's more of like a industrial modern farmhouse kind of look, but with a little coastal flair to it, because I wanted it to be something that he's interested in. So it's kind of got a lot of the fishing kind of things, because he loves to fish and he loves to go out on the boat. So that's why we've got more of like some coastal things and seagrass and the fish that we find in our ocean near us. So I thought it turned out super sweet and he loves it. And I'll try to have everything linked down below that I can in case you want to get it for yourself. And I'll also have a little bit more information soon on my website as well.
You're a lonely sailor, and your soul is made of wind and rain, doubts and blame. I'm a weary pirate, and my heart is made of dust and grain, and spoiled champagne. I've got troubles, I've got sins, I'm my worst enemy, but I've still got a lot to give. So I said, hey, don't you wanna come and run away with me? Hey, won't you come, and say by chance, don't you want me, a man who fully understands a sailor's heart, a sailor's heart. You're a born survivor, and you'll never find yourself in love. You're wise enough. I got troubles, I got sins, I'm my worst enemy, but I still got a lot to give. So I said, hey, don't you wanna come and run away with me? Hey, won't you come, and say by chance, don't you want a man who fully understands a sailor's heart, a sailor's heart. So I said, hey, don't you wanna come and run away with me? Hey, won't you come, and say by chance, don't you want a man who fully understands, So I said, hey, don't you wanna come and run away with me? Hey, won't you come, and say by chance, don't you want a man who fully understands a sailor's heart, a sailor's heart.
I hope that everyone loved the way that his room turned out just as much as we do, and enjoyed watching the process of the whole transformation. If you have any specific questions that I didn't answer or have in the info box down below, then just leave me any questions and I will answer them as best as I can. And I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.
A sailor's heart, a sailor's heart.